back to the barbershop. I'm here with the incredible Lex and the incredible Parker D. Wayne. Yeah, so I'm so excited to be here. Like I'm like, there's so many like layers to how special a moment this is. And also Drew in the background right here. This is one of my best friends, tattoo artist. He's tatted my face. He did these t-shirts. And he's like, yeah, really, really talented artist. We own a skateboard company called Selku. First time I met Lex was because Drew was like, hey, I got a friend, my homie Lex. She wants to do a tattoo. Is it cool? She comes to the barbershop. And I was like, sure. And I pulled up and she got tattooed 222 or 222. And it was a dope, yeah, it was a vibe. And then like 2 weeks later, I go to Mercury Lounge and sure enough, like she's up there like killing it. And
per usual.
Yeah. And I was known Parker since I've noticed what he was doing in fashion at a level and pursuing it at a level that nobody else was and holding himself to a standard that I didn't see anybody else doing. You were working at Starbucks at the time and you were working several jobs. I remember seeing, yeah. And I remember seeing you and was like, hey, you're the fashion dude. You're the guy really, really pushing that here in Tulsa. And we hit it off. You made me a bomb latte. And but there was a connection there, and then also like I've already been a fan. I've been following you, and then since then I've been cutting your hair. You styled me and Lex.
Yes.
And we did a fashion show called Roses last year, and you absolutely put the city on its head. And yeah, you're doing a lot of incredible things. Oklahoma Fashion Alliance, and we're gonna get into all of that dope stuff here in a minute. But I just want to say, like, thank you guys for showing up here. Can you guys talk about how do you guys know each other? Like, where does that start?
We met at a wedding.
Friend of a friend.
We're friends. And then the second time we met was at a party. Was it at...
What year is it?
This was probably the beginning of 2021?
Yeah, 2021.
The wedding was 2020, wasn't it? October-ish?
Yes, it was. End of 2020.
Then in like February, March-ish was the Josh Fudge party.
Yes.
That we met at.
And that's whenever we clicked.
You were in a blue blazer
and
a black turtleneck, and I was in a pink blazer and a black turtleneck. Do you remember that?
Yes.
We were matching. Mm-hmm. For spring. How iconic.
First picture together, too, I think.
Yeah. You seemed shy to me, but eventually...
Does that surprise you?
So tell me, Lex, like, what's this next couple months look like for you and your projects?
So I've released like 2 singles from my EP. I'm actually changing my name from Lex. So that's gonna be weird.
Are you ready to announce that? Is that a right now announcement? Is this the first official announcement?
Hey, what's my announcement?
Yeah, I'm changing it like the next song that comes out. So I'm just going to Lexi Onyango because there's 1,000 different people named Lex.
Lexi Onyango.
So,
love it. Yeah, Lexi Onyango.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm releasing my EP called Limerence. I guess I can go ahead and announce.
Oh, I know. You heard it here first.
Yeah. But kind of just how I've been feeling. I feel like I'm always writing about where I'm at in my life at that point and kind of just falling in love. Like I met Jared, who you cut his hair, and you knew Jared before I did.
Right.
And then honestly, just like how I've been feeling about life lately. So the closer on the EP is kind of just going into depth about like my anxiety and just kind of how I feel sometimes. So it'll be fun to get it out because it's just definitely how I felt when I wrote it and how I feel now too.
How would you describe your sound?
I feel like indie music is super vague, but bedroom pop, indie pop. I love changing too. So like the last project was more of, I just say indie pop vaguely. And then this new stuff is kind of hyper poppy in a way. It's very experimental.
So Parker, you style me and Lex. Tell me about that journey. When did that kind of collaboration kind of start?
It kind of started on accident. We were on set I just showed up on set for a single you were shooting, I think, which eventually turned into the LP Beefy article that we released together.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I just kind of had I feel like my backup basket in my car or something. Or Lex was like, hey, if you want to pull up with some fits, pull up with some fits. So naturally, I pulled up with like a bed comforter. And I was like, I want to tie this on you as a dress. Trust the process. And it turned out stun.
So how was that for you?
I was iffy about it.
Really?
I was
yeah,
like,
I was about to say.
Okay.
I was like, let me just snatch this right here.
And it
let
was
me just
perfect.
pin this right here.
Yeah.
Lex had a long shoot that day for that EP cover. And yeah, I styled the look for that EP cover too. Yeah, we shot a couple of the looks that I brought.
I feel like most of the time when I write, it's like because I'm sad for something crazy is going on, I gotta let it out. I just sat down like a year ago because I just started dating my boyfriend, and I was like, I should write a song about how great he is and see what happens, and try to make it catchy. Because I was all about like I have to write a hit. Like my next song has to be a hit that I write, and I just I think I just turned 21 like recently, and like we had just started going out, and I never knew what to order, so I would always be like vodka soda, because I was scared to talk to the bartender, so I didn't know what to get. So it kind of just got stuck in my head, and it just turned into a great love song, and I feel like that one gets stuck in your head pretty easy too. So thank you.
It's also such an iconic way to follow up Manifesto.
Yeah.
Like, Manifesto is such a badass, like, fuck you. And then it's like, oh yeah, but I'm falling in love with like the perfect guy. Iconic.
I'm so glad that it caught people off guard in that way, because I wasn't sure if, I feel like both of them have similar sounds in a way. So I wasn't sure if it was going to sound like similar to Manifesto. So I'm glad that it threw people off. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's been really fun because like that's been kind of the main part of our friendship has been me getting to know you in this area of your life where you've been transforming from kind of who you were to who you are now. And I think it's definitely showing in the music. And I'm always just like, Lex, I'm your biggest cheerleader. You got this.
There's a lot of inspiration you pull from her and her creative process that is applicable to like your creative process, where you're like, man, I wish I was more like her in this way.
Well, as a stylist, like it's all about having a muse. And it's like, obviously I want to have like my pop girly muse as a stylist. So it makes sense to me. It's like, you know, a stylist can't exist without, you know, kind of, it's like the people are our canvas. And so I like always knew, I was like, yeah, I want to style a badass musician and like be able to kind of help add to the storyline. And clothing is such a personal thing, I think. And it's like being a stylist is all about building confidence. And so like as a friend, I was like, yeah, I want to help you build this brand, build this like identity, and also get to be the one that's like making you look badass, because you already like sing and sound badass. So yeah, I love it.
And you're good at that.
And vice versa. Is there aspects of his creative process that you find applicable to yours?
Oh yeah. I think like we got some sample questions that we would possibly be asked. And like the first one I read and like I knew the answer to was like, who inspires you the most? And it's definitely Parker, which I keep saying Sparky, but like our friends call Parker Sparky. But Parker works very hard. Like you said in the beginning, they had 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And you always are just constantly doing something. If you're not like at your day job, you are in a meeting or you're scheduling a meeting or you're consulting with somebody. Like they're constantly doing something. So I just really respect their grind and hustle because they love what they do and they're making it happen for themselves.
Yeah, right there with you. I mean, getting to be a young artist and be living and, you know, in community with other young artists, we're kind of all in it together. We're all like working as hard as we can to make something of ourselves. And I think that's the kind of relationships I want to be in, for sure. Yeah. It's the matter of the work. Is the work good? Is the music good? Are the album covers good? Yes. You know, like that's what, like I'm in it because
love
Lex is an amazing artist, and like Lex is putting all of herself into her work. And so getting to collaborate with that and be in companionship with that, that like grows me as an artist. That is like what's pushing me as an artist. So yeah, I'm like, let the work speak for itself. And, but it is like such an honor to help, you know, be in support of a friend. And it's not just us. There like are a lot of other people on the project, like our creative director, Atlas Fielding,
Yep.
you know, and like photographers that Lex has worked with. So it's like, you know, a musician, their project is not just them. It's like the producer, it's the musical collaborators, it's the creative director, it's the stylist, it's the photographers. So it's a big project. Lex, how do you feel kind of like being in the place of kind of leading a large scale project?
I feel like this year is the first time it's felt that way, or I'd say maybe like the past year. But recently, like Parker, Atlas, and I have like created a team for just like, I'm good, thank you. Just for like the creative direction part. So for like album art, content, and it's the first time we've planned everything. So it's like we have all of the art done. We have everything prepared. And that was a really good way to do everything. And that took a long time to prep. We would meet every week, and Parker would have like a vision board, and we would all kind of work on it together. Atlas would spend like hours kind of just perfecting the vision board and organizing it.
Researching.
Researching. They shot like all the photos for the covers. They
Are so
them.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
honestly, the covers are very detailed, but like I'm so proud of the styling on them too. Like I feel like nailed the album artwork.
The scene in Tulsa right now, as a creative right now, and in the level of opportunity that you guys see for yourself as individuals within it.
I think if you think that you can do it on your own, you're really kidding yourself.
Yeah.
And I realized that right away from Roses. Roses was a big ass project, and I tried my hardest to make it work. And in the end, I needed to ask for a lot of help, which was a important part in my creative process, to be vulnerable enough to let people in and essentially change it, because, you know, it's working with other people, and part of it is their direction and their personality and their art. But I realized right away, and that's when kind of Oklahoma Fashion Alliance came to me, where I was like, man, we have all got to work together. Like, it takes a lot of people to be kind of putting on specific productions. And so, I think like that was a major point in my creative journey of realizing I'm not going to be able to do this by myself.
Right.
And how can I dream dreams that are big enough, not just for me, but how can I dream a dream and like pursue a dream that's big enough for everyone? And like, why do people feel it's competitive? Because I feel like the people at the top are collaborating for sure. Cause that's how they get there.
Yeah.
Totally.
And there's the eagerness here to like want to further your art, whatever that might want to be, is to be where like you like, it's not, Tulsa's not popping enough right now to where it's like, when you find someone else who's passionate like you, it's like instant. Like you see the light up in their eyes and like, let's work right now. And it's so easy right now to kind of grow. And I think that's the only way to hack growth in a city like Tulsa is through collaboration. Not only that, I believe that to be the blueprint for the future of America through like all sorts of different subcultures of art. It's an exciting time right now. And you guys, I think, are very much so like the nucleus. Like you're all, when people look back in 5 to 10 years, they're gonna be like, wow, they were really fucking doing it, you know? So that brings me to the next question. Like, where do you guys see yourselves? I'll start with you in the next 5 years with your art.
I would hope to see myself hopefully doing it like full time. I feel like most artists either create something, so like that's kind of like a source of just like honestly income for them, and they do that full time, or it's like they're in the service industry. And I think I'm hoping in like 5 years I can just work for myself in some way, like whatever that means, writing music for people, helping people like with their own projects or something, but I just hope I'm doing music a little more. Kind of like you were saying, like without a team, it's like impossible to do something. And the community here specifically is just so supportive. And you were saying earlier as well, most spaces are competitive in some way, or like you think it would be competitive, but it's like everyone wants to collaborate here. Everyone supports each other. Everyone is constantly sharing everyone else's work, I feel like. And that's like the difference that I see. So even just having that support in that community, I know everybody working hard here will like succeed.
It's being noticed on a national scale. Every week in a barbershop, I meet someone sits in my chair from Atlanta, from New York, from LA, and they're not visiting. They're like transplanting here. They're like, no, I'm moving here to work so I can be active in all these other markets throughout the US. And yeah, I've been preaching this all day, but like in the future, it won't be like, who's the most popular artist in New York or out West and in LA or whatever it might be. To be like, who is the best fashion designer in my city of like nowhere, Idaho? You know, because the youth right now, there's a 13-year-old out there who has access to create that we just did not have. So I think people are gonna look back at Tulsa right now as the blueprint for the future for all these different cities. So it's an exciting time. Yeah.
I do just love spending time with the people here, and I do love coming together, stunting a look, showing up. Like, it is a good time. And so, yeah, I love getting to be a part of the community, honestly. I feel really good about it.
It makes you feel really comfortable because everywhere you go, you see at least someone you know, honestly. And like, kind of similar to what you were saying as well, like working in the service industry. So like having people come into like my bar or whatever. So many people are just either visiting, like coming here on vacation, and then Tulsa remote. And I'll tell them like things to do. They're like, who should I like follow on Instagram? And they're so shocked. They'll be like, this is going on here. Like they're having these events. I sent them, I'll like send them your events all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, this isn't insane. This is like stuff that was going on in New York or LA or wherever they came from.
My favorite thing about you is like, it's almost like no matter what the show is, like it's going to turn to the Parker D-Wayne show. You know what I mean? Like you could be like, I could have like, and in the best way. You know what I mean? It almost elevates or enhances the show. Like
If I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up.
and it matters because you've been so consistent with it too. Because it's like, shit, I know Parker's coming tonight and he's going to be wearing something crazy. And I know that Cody Jensen's going to be there with his camera. Or Cooper Harrison's going to be there. So it's like so fun just like watching the scene be like progressed in that sense. You know what I mean? You had a trip to New York once. And I remember you telling me, he's like, man, I felt like I was the most New York thing in New York. And it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I went out there. Yeah.
I thought people would stare less in New York. Right. Something in me was like, people will stare less. So I brought it to New York. You know, I was wearing pantyhose over my face and everything. And people were looking at me like I was a weirdo.
That was the
like,
muscle suit. The muscle suit,
and the
right?
muscle suit. Oh.
And you walked like the whole city in those boots, right? Like heels.
Yeah, my feet were killing me. And people
Go follow Parker right now. And then you'll find the New York outfit. Yeah.
But and people were just like congratulate, like Happy Fashion Week. As I was walking down the street, I'm like, bitch, you know you're fashionable when people congratulate you Happy Fashion Week. You know? But it's fun to be doing that shit in Tulsa. And honestly, the country people kind of fuck with it sometimes. Like they're kind of like, that's weird, but that looks like some tactical gear you got from the Army Depot or whatever. I'm like, it is.
True story though. Like you come into my chair Saturday morning around 9:30 in the morning, and there'll be a walk-in. He'll be a middle-aged or not. He'll be like a mid-60s white male, and he walked in after you've been caved, and like there've been like the conversation is bouncing all through the barbershop. And he's connecting, he's hopping in, and like there's a connection that happens. And I'm telling you, man, when I take that cake and whip that cake off you, and you stand up in some Daisy Dukes and I cry out, the face on that 65-year-old man, he's like, yo, he's questioning, he's like, I just like, in the beauty. the beauty in the exchange is that it humanizes everybody. You know what I mean? And it's like before, like there was like a moment where it's just like it didn't matter who you were, like we were all enjoying a moment, and like there was a lesson learned every time Parker leave the barbershop. So yeah, man,
very iconic.
that was beautiful.
I think being relatable is really, really a part of it. I mean, and that's like, I think a goal in music too, for sure. It's like you're hoping people kind of understand the story that you're telling.
Yeah.
And like connect with it.
Yeah. And that's hard sometimes too, because it's like, I feel like there's like half of everyone's telling you have to be marketable, right? Like to like succeed, or you have to be this or that. And I feel like being an artist, you just have to be comfortable with being like, this is who I am. Hopefully it's marketable for you.
You're relatable through your vulnerability.
And
you know?
but people
and that's
love
so
that.
hard.
You just gotta be yourself, and like if people love it, they will. But if you like love what you're doing, people will automatically love it.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you love who you are, it's a little easier to be vulnerable too.
Yeah.
It's like if you are really secure and confident in yourself, you can enter into those rooms with people who you know are different from you and say like, I'm representing my authentic self in this interaction, and you can take it or leave it. And I don't know, I feel like people respect that. Yeah.
Bryce filmed the Rosie music video.
Really?
Yeah.
Word. Shout out to Bryce
Amazing.
behind
And
the
that's
camera.
when Bryce met Parker.
Yeah, link in somebody's bio. That music video is so stunning.
Great. It was so fun to film too.
Go watch that right now. Go watch the music video. How you feeling?
How do you feel, Drew?
I feel good.
I feel good
Cool.
too. It really
My
is
brother
not
too
bad.
cool. Yeah, I know.
It's not
I
that
told
bad.
you, touch of an angel.
He told me like what y'all were doing, and I mentioned how I wanted a tattoo, and he was like, you should just get one. Like,
Oh,
During
that's so
the interview.
gnarly. That's awesome.
and so I kind of just looked through my little Pinterest board and saw something that I liked. But honestly, most of my tattoos are kind of just, I felt like getting
when
more
Chris sent me this
dramatic.
text that this was going down, I got so stoked. I was like, oh, that's going to be so sick.
Right. And Drew's great too. We met when I was super young, randomly.
She sold me a guitar. That was the first time we ever met. Downtown, we just met up, dude. And like, she sold me one. I still have it. It's like,
I was like in high school. I was like a sophomore or something. And then I went to get my first tattoo when I was 18 with my best friend. My parents like hated her because I thought she was awful influence because we got our first tattoos together. And he was working at the front desk. And I was like, because you were an apprentice, right? And I was like, why do you look so familiar? And he was like, I don't know. And we like put two and two together. But anyways.
A question we've been asking a lot today is, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
I feel like kind of every step that I've taken, life has met me in a place that I feel like has been consistently my advice, where it's like, take it more seriously. Because when you take it and yourself more seriously, when you take your dreams more seriously and you just start doing that shit, it happens. Like it's really just figuring out a way that you can practice how to continue to create. And so, yeah, I don't know if like someone specifically told me that, but I think like the people that showed up for me and like believed in my work and supported me and invested in me have all been like, I'm believing in you because we believe in this. Seriously, you know, so like telling myself to take it more seriously, and the more that I do, the more it pops up, I feel like.
True.
Trust your intuition.
I would say, honestly, Logan telling me probably like a year ago when we started playing more Lex shows, he was like, no one cares if you look stupid, and no one like is watching you that hard to think that you look ridiculous. And I don't even know if he knows this, but I think of that probably every day, because I'm like, no one thinks you look stupid, you know? Because I feel like it's so easy to just get in your head about things.
Yeah.
But
What does success look like to you guys? I'll start with you.
Honestly, like one of my biggest goals is probably to play Red Rocks. Like honestly, I think if I played Red Rocks, I would be like, I can retire and live on farm for the rest of my life if I played Red Rocks.
I make it. Red Rocks is Colorado, is like the big amphitheater, like in the.
Yeah. And our friends played there last year, and like we got to go and watch, and it was insane.
I'm putting that intention out there this year. It's going down.
This year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they do festivals.
Yeah.
All the time there, right?
Oh yeah. Or I know that they do like weekends where it'll be like one artist like performing for 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
But it's just massive. It sounds incredible. It's like so beautiful. I feel most artists, it's like on their bucket list to play Red Rocks or like Madison Square Garden or something.
It's like Colorado Spring. This area, yeah, it's beautiful.
It's so pretty. And about you?
What does success look like?
I think success looks like continually being able to show up for myself so that I'm able to show up for others, because we're talking about how it's really a collaborative process, and that's like working with people is a really big part of it. But if you're not in a good headspace, working with people can be hard, and like you can make some tough decisions, or like, I don't know, leading people can be tough when you're not in the right headspace. And so it's like, I think success looks like being able to be healthy and balanced and be able to pursue my dreams and like not have to work 3 jobs. Because like mental health is struggling in those periods, because that shit is really hard to do and takes a big strain trying to create on top of that too. So it's like, man, if I can be, if I can be keeping up with my life and able to create and like in a good zone and provide for myself, I think that's really successful.
I really like when you were at Starbucks, both of us were in that like 2 to 3 job kind of lifestyle. And this is the first time I think both of us have had like 1 job at a time for a while. Maybe.
Well, I'm still at a couple jobs.
Or no, yeah, you are working all the time because you're involved in so many different projects too.
Yeah, but
Like-
some of my jobs have become the creative projects,
Yeah.
which are amazing.
And that's
Yeah.
great. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's real life. Like, doing a lot of shit takes a lot of effort.
It does.
But yeah, but getting to be able to create and kind of like you were saying, just be able to create full time. That seems like it would be a really fulfilling life.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, like you were saying too, it is hard to stay accountable sometimes when you are so busy with just like everything else in life. Like you have a whole team of stylists you work with probably like daily or at least like a couple of times a week at this point, like your OFA team,
Yeah.
and like keeping them together is probably a whole task.
Yeah, that is my second job for sure. Like it's like a full-time gig.
Yeah.
Directing, managing, like just leading a group of people is so tough. Like that's the whole operation. And yeah, like those who don't know, Oklahoma Fashion Alliance is something that Parker has cultivated this past year. And it's a group of how many designers?
Well, our last show we worked with like 55 artists. So not just designers, but also models, photographers, videographers, graphic designers, hairstylists, makeup artists. Like it's a large group of artists, but we've been able to showcase about 15 local designers this year, which has been amazing. But and we have about like 87 members of the alliance in total, because not each person didn't work both shows. So yeah, and growing. And it's like, if you want to work in the fashion, please like hit us up. We would love for you to be a part of the show. Like it's not super exclusive. It's very open to everyone. So yeah, I'm just excited to continue to grow.
I like really appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah, I'm honored. Like your guys' presence is validating to Sharpside.
So, yeah, thank you, Pop House, Variance Music Magazine, Ghost Cat Productions. I'm Trent. We're here at Sharpside. Till next time, love y'all. Peace.
I got what it takes, so I gotta take it all back. I told him I need my pay, I need my 50 for tax.